What's up, fellow zombie slayers? This is Damian Hunter bringing you another video. In this video, I kind of want to talk about layers and how the different troop types interact with them. This was brought up by one of my teammates in the fact that a lot of the bigger players like to solo these zombie layers because it really cuts down on our casualties. So the way, as far as I've been able to determine that casualties are counted with the layers, it's based on, number one, the number of troops that are posted within the attack. Number two, it's determined by who leads the attack. And number three, the supporting troops that are on the attack with you. So, for example, I'm a Rider main, and I'm gonna pull up one of my reports here. So this first report is gonna be a full layer with full marches from everybody of no specific variety. So as you can see, it's a level 32 layer. It has 576,000 total units, and those are all T9s. And so the way that it works is it basically takes the total number and divides it by 4 for the tier type amongst the 4 types of troops. So as you can see on the right side of the screen under Defender, there are 144,000 Thunderbolts, which are the vehicles, 144,000 Hurricanes, which are the Rider class of troops, 144,000 Shooters, and 144,000 Riders. Now, for whatever reason, the way that layers work is that when it posts the casualties as it goes through the sequence, the fighters die first. I don't know why. I've never been able to figure out and prove why. However, I just know it works. So as a Rider main, or someone who sends Riders into a march, they're going to typically do a lot better than either of the other two types, shooters or fighters. This concept does also apply to the other game, Puzzles and Conquest. Whether it's for the cavalry mains, they're going to do a lot better than the ranged and the infantry mains, just because the infantry die first in sequence. Now, as I mentioned before, this march, or this layer, has a full march from every person involved. So as you can see, I'm going to bring up my comparison. So the troops in this one are all over the place. We've got T9 fighters, T8 vehicles, T8 sharpshooters, fighters, T7 everything, and some T6s. So what that's going to do is those T9s from the enemy are going to honestly just eat all these troops up. And that's partially why I think that these casualties are so high, because those troops cannot compete with T9s. Now, the normal method normal formula for this, for the layers, is you want to have half as many troops and be 2 tiers higher. So, for example, with this one, I would need approximately a little over 380,000 or 280,000 troops. Sorry, my math is bad. Either way, if I had half of that number and they're all T11s, my stats really don't matter as much because the formula for that kicks in and it works for whatever reason. Now, putting stats into the equation, you can see that it's a lot different. Now, the next one I want to show you is a solo march, or a solo layer from me. So again, I have T10 Riders, 221,600 of them, in my stats, of course. So, since the layer calculates casualties based on the number of troops, with one exception, when I pop over to the one I solo, I only lose 5,521 casualties. Now, to be fair, I don't actually lose all of those because EVA does revitalize most of them. As you can see at the top of the screen, it's 5,189 out of the 5,521 that were healed. So I only lost 400 on that one. But going back to that other first march, the total units revitalized was 181,000, and we lost probably, so each one of us probably lost about 1,000 total troops or so from that. Now, I did mention that there was a caveat to this, and I'm going to switch over to Puzzles and Conquest to show what I mean by that. So within the algorithm of this game, for whatever reason, there's a little loophole. If someone who is a Rider main, so the leader of the layer sends a full march of Riders, or cavalry, since it applies to both, and everybody else sends archers or shooters, same thing, the casualties remain extremely low, but you can start jumping into higher Hellforts because you have more troops in there. Now granted, it works the best if you all have high level troops. So for example, if you have T10s and you have a T10 rider or cavalry person leading the charge, and then the rest are T10 archers, the casualty list should be about 2k before EVA and the dragon kicks in to heal everybody else. So I'm going to go ahead and pop over to Conquest and show you what I mean. So going to my Hellfortress reports, if you can see on this third one here, my teammate Kogan attacked at level 40, and we sent in about 2, 4, 7, about 1 million troops against the 1.3 million troops of the Hellfort. So as you can see, each one of our casualties is about 1,500 to 2,200. And showing you the breakout, my partner led with T11 cavalry or riders for my puzzles and survival friends. And then the rest of us led with T9 and T10 archers or shooters. So again, as you can see the breakout, it's 330k per each of the 4 types, even quad split. And even that, though that's the case, because we had about 1 million troops and they're all archers, besides the leader, it causes, for whatever reason, the casualties to remain low. Now, if one of those players would have sent a full ride of, or a full march of infantry or fighters, then the casualties would have been a little bit higher, but it's still not that bad. As long as, whenever you do a full march, you send relatively equal level of troops. So if the rest of us had T11s to go with our leader on this one, then we would have absolutely destroyed this this Hellfort. Instead of it being a 69%, we would have been closer to 80 or 90. So hopefully this information does help people with this. A lot of the main reason I brought this up was because I see a lot of new players always confused when a stronger player asks for only 1 troop in the march. Hopefully this explains why. If you have any questions, please put them in the comments below, and I'll try to answer them as best I can, as quickly as I can. So thank you all for watching and putting up with me. Again, sorry for these videos being pretty basic. I don't have time to really mess with them much. But you all have a great night, and have fun destroying demons and zombies. Take care.